Hi everybody, it's Nick. I wanted to talk today about opening our eyes, seeing reality as it really is, and doing our bit, no matter how small, just doing our bit. And this really came home to me the other day. I was in town with my daughter, Lily, and we decided to go and get an ice cream, which is very important as part of my calorie controlled diet, as you can imagine. And we are stood in the queue at the ice cream shop. There was a young lad in the shop and he caught my eye. I think initially he caught my eye because he looked young and I couldn't see any adults with him. Or maybe it was just an instinctive thing, I don't know. He came out without an ice cream. And you know what, I didn't even really think. There was just something very instinctive. Maybe it was a maternal pull, maybe there was something vulnerable about him, but he really, really pulled at my heartstrings. I'll try and tell this story without crying. And I said, hey mate, did you get an ice cream? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, well, did you want one? And he said, well, yeah, but I haven't got any money. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's all right, we'll buy you one. See him looking at me a bit oddly, some random woman. So I said, I tried to reassure him, look, this is my daughter, Lily. We're buying an ice cream, and we would really like to buy you one. Eventually, after a little bit of conversation, we're stood in a public place. There were other people in the queue at the ice cream thing, so I wanted him to feel, safe. He agreed to let us buy him some ice cream. So I went into the shop and I spoke to the lady and I asked her if she knew him, and she said she didn't know him that well, except that he came in the shop a lot but never had any money to buy any ice cream. But she knew he was one of the lads that went to a specialist school in the area. He was in a different year, but her son went there, and that reassured me, because looking at him, if I'm honest, and I think it's what my instinct and my eyes had picked up on, he looked very, very vulnerable, very uncared for, very undernourished, just very sad, bereft. There's a real sadness about him, and it really, really pricked my conscience. So I said to the lady, well, I'd like to leave some money in the till for another couple of ice creams for him, so that, on another day when he comes round, he doesn't just have to look in the window, he can have a treat. Because I think all kids need treats. And if it was my kids, I would hope, and they were hungry, and I don't know, you can make up this narrative. I don't know what his story is, but it didn't look great to me. She was really sweet. Obviously I made a promise 100 times, as I would do that. So she wrote this note in front of me, put the credit in the till. I took his ice cream out. He was enormously appreciative, and off he went. And I suppose that could be the end of the story, except by this point, if I'm honest, I really, and even just thinking about it now, I'm struggling to hold back the tears. So by this point in time, I am really struggling to hold back the tears, because there was just something so vulnerable and sad. It was almost a bit like some scene out of Victorian England, where the hungry children looking through the shop window. I know I'm creating a story and over, probably making that more dramatical, but the reality is we have a significant amount of children across the world and in this country that live in child poverty. It's a very real issue. The level of inequality in our world is substantial, and I think because it is so overwhelming, very often we, you feel you can't solve it. Putting your head in the sand or looking the other way, because the problem is just so enormous. It's like, I'm walking through London and I just pass so many homeless people. And I think one of the things, if you speak to homeless people, that they find really hard is that people stop seeing them as people. So they really become lost as human beings. And no, I don't have enough money, time or food to stop and feed or give something to every single homeless person I see. But what I do have is, and I will always have, an infinite supply of, is my humanity. So one of the things I try and do is always look at them, always look them in the eye and recognise them as one of my fellow human beings and say, hello, take care of yourself, hope you have a good day. I'll always buy a big issue. If I've already bought one and I see somebody else, I'll say, I'm sorry, I have already got one, but good luck and take care of yourself. Just, I don't know exactly what the words are I use, but just some form of recognition that we are both human beings in this world. For whatever reason, we've been dealt a different hand in life. Our circumstances are different, but the fact that we're both people isn't. And therefore, every single one of us has the ability to be able to always make a difference. And part of that, the starting point for that is to actually open our eyes and to see even the things that are really hard to see and are really difficult to see. And that's just really what I wanted to share. I can't wave a magic wand, sadly, and take away child poverty. But last week, what I could do in that one instance was carry out that act of buying an ice cream for that young man in the hope that he had a good day that day and really enjoyed the ice cream. And when I see inequality and unfairness and injustice, I may not be able to wipe it away and solve it, but each of us, just by the very act of looking somebody in the eye and smiling, can make a huge difference to somebody's dignity and their day, just by embracing and sharing our humanity. And I think that's what I really want to ask, is that we all open our eyes, no matter how difficult it is, what we have to look at, and just look for the thing that is within our gift and that we can do, rather than being overwhelmed and therefore doing nothing. Because if we do nothing, not only will nothing ever progress and get better, but actually we'll probably go backwards, because we will just become more and more desensitized to it. And I think that's really dangerous. So I guess I'm asking us all to be sensitive to these difficult circumstances, injustices and inequalities that we see around us, and to look at it and to just think in that moment, at that time, what is it? It doesn't matter how small it is, but what is it that we can do just by expressing our humanity and our compassion and our desire to make it better for somebody. And that's what I would like to ask us all to be able to do, because I think that's a fundamental building block for making the world a better place. So I hope that's of help. I hope everybody has a good day, and I hope you're all staying safe. Take care. Bye.